Random. So in our game, we've got it set up so you can type in your name and then you can go across onto the second form. And this is where you basically kind of have it. So you choose rock, paper, or scissors. So you might have done like I've done a radio button, an image. You've all decided your own thing. And the idea is then when we press submit, we will kind of find out whether or not we've beaten the CPU. So the idea is then if we beat the CPU, we get a point. If they beat us, then they get a point. So the code behind this, just to show you it, if I go on to Form 2, and that's my design and stuff there, and if I go to Form 2 here, now this bit you've already got because your player's name comes across from the first form. That was a module you should have done, so I'm just going to hide that. But the first thing I've got here, so when I click on my Submit button, which I've just called Button 1, I've got it, so if they choose the first radio button, so that's basically this top one here, look, let me stop that because it's running up the top. That's called radio button 1. That's called radio button 2. And that one's called radio button 3. So if they choose radio button 1, then our player's choice is rock. If it's button 2, it's paper. If it's button 3, it's scissors. And at the top, where this player choice thing is, just to point it out, I've got these variables set up. So I've got player choice as string. I've also got CPU choice, and I've also got the player score and CPU score, which you guys will probably need to do as well. So, like I said, when we pick something, our choice gets set as rock. So the player's choice is rock if I've chosen rock. And the next bit down in code, this area here, this is all about getting the computer to randomly choose rock, paper, or scissors to fight against you. So these first few lines of code here is all about the random process. So it basically randomly picks a number between 1 and 3. In fact, it's between 0 and 2. That's why the 1 is on there. That's how it kind of works in computing. But anyway, like I said, these 3 lines randomly pick a number. And if the random choice is 1, I've decided that that CPU has chosen rock. If the random choice is 2, is paper. And anything else, which is number 3, is down as scissors. And then the next bit of code. So when it actually gets to the point of we choose something, the CPU chooses something, then I've got code which will basically make comparisons. So I've said if the player's choice is rock and the CPU choice is rock, then the game's a draw, isn't it? Because you've both done the same thing. So I've got this label 1. So if I come back onto here, and this is label 1 here, which I'm going to kind of hide away. That text will change to it's a draw, play again. If I choose rock and the CPU's choice is paper, then they beat me, don't they? So the CPU wins, so the text will change to that, and they will say play again. But this time, because the CPU has beaten us, their score is going to increase by 1. So it starts off at 0, same as the player score there, and their score goes up by 1 if they beat us. And if we beat them, so if we choose rock and they choose scissors, then it says you win, our score goes up by 1, and the label, so this CPU score label, player score label, so just to point out, that's what that is there. That's the player score label, and that is the CPU score label. And just to say that this here is a panel, because I wanted it to stand out a little bit, and I just sent it to the back, and panel is in the list here if you want to do something like that. So this code is not complete because at the moment it's just kind of if the player has pressed rock. So you will need to add more lines of code here to say whether or not if the player has chosen paper, if the player has chosen scissors. But I'm going to let you guys do that yourselves because I think this is enough help as it is. So if I just play it again then, and I load up this, I type in my name, and I come across here. So the name follows across. The label, I need to get rid of that, don't I? So I've chosen rock. If I press submit, and it says we won. So they must have chosen scissors. And maybe I should have something on here to say what the CPU has chosen, but it doesn't need to be there. So my score's gone up by 1. And if I keep pressing submit, and I haven't changed rock, I'm just going to keep it as rock because I haven't coded these bits. You can see that the score keeps going up. And it will have to get to a point, won't it, where there's a victory of some sort. So in addition to what's on there, in terms of the code you need to add to this bit as well, there will need to be another set of if statements here to say if the player score gets up to 5, 3, 10, whatever it is you decided your winning score will be, maybe a message box will appear to say, well done, you won. And if you want to, you can tell them what the score is. And on the other hand, if the CPU score gets up to that number, unlucky you lost, try again. Okay? So down to you now, then, guys.